Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Base Invaders, brought to you by Rustoria and sponsored by Rusty Pot. We're here today. It's Sunday, January the 18th. After our break from last week, we had the Trust in Rust event. Today, we're going to have 7-mans, and I'm going to welcome our newest caster to Base Invaders, Jamerson. Welcome, Jamerson. How are you today?
Hey, Kayla, I'm doing fantastic, and I'm super excited to be joining you guys for this. I've been playing Rust for only about 2 years now, but this game has completely consumed so much of my life since then.
That is wonderful. And now we're going to consume so much of your life with keeping you here with us. This is going to be fun. Again, we're doing 7-mans today. We have about, I think there's 24 teams, if I do remember. Right now, we're looking at Launch and Bradley scooting around while not a lot of players right here at the moment. Is there, James?
Not right now. There was some fighting that was taking place at launch. I mean, understandably so, but we are in the attack phase now. So you have to imagine that a lot of teams have just pulled back and have, starting to scout their competition around the area. And rightly so, because apparently most of the teams right now are building on the west side of the map. If we can get an opportunity to take a look at that, I would love it.
That's a great idea. We have some interesting team names. We're going to start off here. We just seen this Zaz Ranchi base, but we're going to flip it down. We're going to come down here. We can see a lot of action around this side of the map, like towards power plant and whatnot. A lot of bases kind of centralized. It's going to be a lot of fighting right there. It's going to be a lot of easy raids and quick raids.
Yeah, that's crazy because you said we have about, 20 some odd teams, and half of them are right here. And then on the northwest side around military tunnels, launch site, a lot of action there as well. I mean, you can definitely imagine teams being able to kind of chain raids between all of these, but this also means that the chances of counter raids are so high.
Yes, very much so. It's right here. We have, what teams do we have here? We have Germans and Cats and one other team. It
was Pobeda.
Thank you.
Was the other one. So yeah, 3 teams already here, and it looks like Cats are actually already trying to make an advance, but that Pobeda squad is proving a little bit difficult. They have to wall their way on over, but luckily it does seem like the Germans have their base on lock. They might actually have one player inside from another squad. We'll find out in just a moment.
Yeah, Cats look laddering up on the outside, easily going in. I'm not sure if the guy minded. He noticed the guy ran past him. I'm not sure that.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting exchange, but I like the idea coming out from Cats right now, right? Especially during the attack phase, we see a lot of teams kind of putting that focus on getting that roof control on initial buildings, but the Germans already have that roof control down. They've got like all their turrets up there, and this is a chunky base as well, so I think it's going to be difficult to try even get in. We saw Pobeda already kind of roof camping and Cats having to build their way on over, but oh, yes, he goes down.
Yeah, he goes down. He's trying to get those barricades up to keep them out from coming in the compound, because right now they do. With those ladders, they just ladder in, they run around, they have free reign. Again, having that roof control, like you said, thank heavens, because if not, they'd be in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, we have to remember that you only have the one base, your main base. You're not allowed to have, outside bases or anything. So if you're stuck inside, you are stuck inside. For the Germans right now, they are currently stuck inside their base. It looks like actually multiple squads are starting to make their way on over. I saw Mamba, one team coming over from there. Pobeda is now pushing up as well, trying to get some of these PvP kills, and they will find one more on the outside. It looks like Keeps might be the next one to fall.
And Mamba coming from the opposite side. Cats was squished in the middle. They were quickly taken out. Pobeda is just quickly going to loot. They're probably going to turn around, back up. They're having great control on that right-hand side with their wall.
Yeah, we were talking about the density of bases in the area, and as soon as you hear the AK spray flying, everyone comes in to try and get their kills right now. It looks like Mamba currently leading with 12. Yeah, Yeet with 11 points as well. And Pobeda, the other squad that we saw that were able to roof camp a lot of that, stealing away a lot of the kills, getting 10 for themselves.
We also see a team there. We've yet to see their names nor any kills here, but we see a team Vane on the other side there. We have Cats here below us. They were the ones with the first push, but they kind of been pushed back with all this chaos that's ensued.
Yeah, they were the aggressors, but they only have 4 points to their name right now. They're currently in 9th place. This is the top 10 you can see on the top right of your screen, but it seems like they're really not going to be able to get anything going here. The third party's coming out from the multiple teams in the area, just making it too difficult. You can see Pobeda have a nice little setup outside of the Germans' base, but they currently have, what, 3 players on roof right now, so I don't know if you can actually get anything going here.
Yeah, Mambo quickly making the wrap going right, and they're gaining in points going after Pobeda and Germans on top who have yet to be able to leave their base. They're kind of just stuck in. If me, myself, and again, I'm not the best PvPer, but right now the Germans, they need to actually possibly get off that roof and start making a ground push to actually help in it.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, that's probably one of the hardest things to learn when it comes to Rust and when it comes to raiding, about being able to find the tempo, the right tempo of a fight, when you need to push out, when you need to start making presence. But they have 3 teams basically surrounding their base right now. And it looks like Mamas actually have a number of targets in their sights right now. Pop spots one, building on the roof, and he's going to try and put a stop to that. And he will, getting 1 point for his squad and also delaying the building of this base.
Yes, we have a lot of teams who play this game week in and week out. They know the tricks. They're going to go around. They're going to scout these bases and get a really good idea of which ones they should attack after this phase is up in 23 minutes. So right now, you see Pops here. He's having a grand look. They're even opening the door for him so he can see.
Yeah, he almost got the knock on that stone gate, and that would have been huge for him, maybe to be able to get in, get up to that rooftop and start controlling for them, because well, this base looks pretty chonky. Like, if you have roof control, I mean, it feels like it might be an easy base to control once you're in there. Now, their attention is a little bit split, but they are starting to pull a few more players in. You can see Russian Terminator 2005 coming in from the other side. And so they're trying to control multiple gateways into this base. And I believe this one is fairly close to them as well, so they can start pulling people back. And what a beam Pops through that grate to be able to get Shocker down.
Yeah, Brahms here, they're really behind. They have a lot of build left. This is not a finished base. So even this one Pops guy, he's putting a real dent in their side and in really finishing at this.
And this is another point too. They're keeping multiple teams contained now, right? We saw them at the other base, but now this is a second base, a second team that they're stopping from actually being able to push out. And we have to talk about map presence. You have to be able to get out there and start fighting. If you just kind of holding and turtling up, a lot of teams kind of sense that weakness, and that's what we saw earlier on. Teams, when they sense the weakness, they decided to just go ahead and full push it. Now we go on over. It looks like our first heli take coming in.
We have what teams here? We have Pepsi and we have NA Sports. We have, that's just all I see right now. Everyone trying to push up and get closer to that heli crate. And the way this works for anyone watching or not, all you have to do is touch these crates. You don't actually have to loot them. So the first team's going to try to push up and just tag these crates to get these free points.
Now, you've actually played in these events, and I've always wondered, like, what's actually spawned in these crates? Like, what's the value of a lot of these crates?
It's not necessarily the value of the contents, it's the points for the for this heli. But again, you get it's a 10x or 100x, sorry. And you get multiple rockets, C4. You know, it's normal heli loot, crate loot, but on crack.
Is it like higher chances to get the boom, or like is there a chance for
Yes.
you just only get like okay? I thought it was gonna be like 100x on attachments, and I'm like, I don't really want 100x on attachments.
No, they've gotten rid of all the junk, they call it. So it's mainly just good loot that you're gonna use to raid with in this game.
Oh man, this looks so unfortunate. So it looks like Nasport was trying to contest this heli, or maybe they were the ones that actually took it, but they are now just stuck inside their base. The other squad was able to basically wipe them and push them back. And I don't know if they're going to have an opportunity to actually be able to get this. You can see the walls already going down. They do have presence of a man on dome right now to get a decent angle, but I feel like these walls are just too good and they should be able to take this one for free.
Yeah, Pesky really taking control around this heli. I'm noticing too, you can wall much closer in this event to helis than you can in real Rust. So they really have an advantage here with these walls.
Yeah, 4 crates actually looks like already available to loot. We'll see if they can actually get onto it. Does seem like that man on top of Dome has a really great angle. They are putting some focus onto him. We'll see if they can actually maybe get him down. But Nasport are trying to push out for this one. And right now, it doesn't seem like anyone's able to actually touch those crates quite yet.
Yes, Pepsi, they're really playing this one life trying to get there and close. NA Sports, they can go down, they can run it back out their base and still get these crates. So as long as they can keep Pepsi off the crate. Oh, and here he goes. He's going to go in. He's going to see if he gets the points that easy.
And I love how the rest of the Pesky squad is actually playing this. You can see how close they are to actually the outer walls of this base, of the NA Sports base. And so they're just not allowing anyone to push out. And despite having that presence on Dome, it just was not enough. They needed more presence outside. And it doesn't seem like maybe they were able to get bags out there to try and run it back, but there's going to be some free loot. And honestly, they might actually just turn this around in 20 minutes time if they feel like, they feel strong enough and they have enough boom to go straight after this base.
Most definitely. So Pesky going to get that last crate. He gets those points and you see them. They come into the scoreboard quickly. So good job for them.
Yeah, that propelled him up to what, top 8 there? Throughout all of this, though, I was still keeping an eye on the scoreboard. Team Mamba right now, 36 points in the lead. I wonder how much of that is just their control over the bases that they have in their area. The second patrol heli, I believe, should be coming out soon. And if I remember correctly, it's 3 per attack phase?
Yes, we usually get 3 in attack phase. Yes.
All right, so the
You're
second one
doing
should be
great,
coming
Jamerson. You're new here and you know this all so well. This is amazing. Uh,
out.
these events are very chaotic, especially on 7-mans. There's a lot of action happening all the time. So the helis, they get overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was really excited, especially when it came to the 7-mans, because I saw what the last were like 3, 6, and 5, and I feel like with the 7-mans, I mean, you're basically just pummeling through if you're, going for rocket pummels in just one volley. If the entire team has like a launcher on them, so these raids are going to be incredibly accelerated. I'm really excited once we get to the actual raid phase.
Yes, and I think being it's your first cast with us on Base Invaders, you get to introduce these names playing right now, these team names.
I mean, the first thing like instance that comes to mind, I see this is like Qui-Gon. Like, are these like Star Wars fans here? No, but Equigon, it looks like fighting over. I'm not entirely too sure. Maybe they're just trying to push out, but they do have a team, I believe, on Oxens right now, finding a few kills and. Bayraktar. What is that? That might actually be a Star Trek reference. I don't know if that's Klingon or something. We're getting all of our sci-fi references in today.
It's the best reference ever. We have the Klingons over here. Um, Equ- these guys are, listen, if you play regular Rust, you will know the busiest spot on the map is the gas station superstore. So right now there's an epic battle ensuing over who's going to go and get groceries.
And we got Andre WK over here ready to party on, but it looks like they have actually won out most of the fight here, but they're still getting surrounded. You can see that Bayraktar coming in across the street. You got the presence of Equigon here as well. Why are they fighting over? Is this for the recycler, or I'm not entirely too sure why they're fighting over it.
It's just coincidence. It's a PvP battle, and just like regular Rust, the gas stations, they always seem to have their fair share of grub PvP though.
Yeah, I'm showing up. I've got my, I've got my puppy ready to go.
Oh,
Taking a
you're
look
one of
across the map.
them.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
no.
Grub kit for life. But yeah, it looks like Caustic actually pushing out, and they got the heli down right outside of their base, and they have a lot of presence. Look at the high ground here on the snow hill. Vayne trying to get out for themselves, but the sheer presence of that squad. Caustic here on the high ground, they even got their bags down, so they are prepared for this. I don't know if anyone can actually contest this.
I don't think so from that side. That Caustic is literally staring at their front door saying, you're not coming. And coming on the back side of them, kind of take a peek of what all the fuss is about. But Vayne goes again. Oh, they're actually trying to finish their compound in the process.
Oh.
Their compound is not closed.
And take a look at how close their compound has to be as well. I mean, this is why you need to be on top of your build phase. It looked like they wanted to maybe, have that outer layer of, large furnaces just on the other side of their walls, but they had to actually go for an extremely close wall in there for themselves, as it seems like another team might actually be getting involved in this. You can see Unharmed there inside the forest off to the side, maybe just trying to steal away a few kills during this attack phase.
Yes. And in 7-mans, I don't give these guys a lot of room to wiggle because they have a lot of time. You have a lot of time if you help your builder in 7 mans. This timing is built for 7 man. So these bases should be done. Your compound should be done. Upgrading, you can upgrade in the attack phase and sacrifice, but realistically, and there he goes. He's sealing his walls. You can see him trying to put his compound down now. So Caustic not only taking control of the alley, but keeping this team at bay, trying to finish their build.
Yeah, it looks like 2 walls possibly being done here. The problem is that like one of those walls is actually a wood wall as well. So they might just be running low on resources. They have a wall inside their compound as well. They're just kind of a panic wall to actually just keep themselves safe. There we go. One more to go down and they will be sealed. That also means it looks like they are only down to 1 gate.
Vayne is working hard trying to place these walls, and Caustic says, no, sir, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Oh, and there's the gate you alluded to. So they were thinking what you were thinking.
Yeah, it would have been bad if their only one point of access to like get out of the base is that 1 gate to the side. You saw that there was a member of NN that was approaching from there as well, but I don't know if this gate will help them out as well because it's facing the Caustic gate right now, or the Caustic base, and they have the perfect roof camp angle. You can never push out. They don't even have a way to like actually get that cover down. You can see Caustic now pushing forward. We'll see if they can get a little bit more here.
Caustic definitely showing them who's in control. Vayne, their build kind of doesn't look finished at the top either. You know, they do have a shooting floor. Is it necessarily the top the way they want it? I don't believe so. But Caustic now inside, I don't think they had a lock on their gate, to be honest. I'm not sure, but I don't think they're in.
Oh boy, they're in, and it looks like they might have actually been able to ladder up as well. And you can see now Vayne are just on their roofs trying to maintain control over their base right now. With 13 minutes left to go, you do not want to lose control of your base at this point. One person has been knocked. You can see Caustic finding an angle on the offside. Drop down a little bit low, but again, they don't have the ability to actually go for the peaks. They haven't finished their base, and so even though they have roof control right now, it's very it's not much roof control, honestly.
No, we have Straffy. He's taking peeks. He's like a little peeping Tom out here trying to figure out what's going on with all this noise inside. Definitely Caustic showing them that they have control right now. Mentally, this got to be draining on Vayne. They have not had an easy attack phase.
Yeah, 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, and they're just struggling here to just maintain control over their base right now. And like you said, they might not have a lock on that gate. So despite being able to finally get it down, ultimately in the end there, ooh, a nice little defense. They actually take out 2 members of the Caustic squad that were trying to push up to that gate. Now Don still has control over the compound, but he can get overrun by the rest of the Vayne members.
I like Straffy out here. He's been just chilling, going around the outside, taking little peeks. I don't know if he's taking camera images. Who knows? But he's just chilling. He's like, when y'all finish, I'll be here to clean up. That's what I think he's thinking.
You know, watching back on a lot of the VODs for the FXX, Straffy has been doing an amazing job, like, for his squad. Like, the amount of plays that he's come up with has been incredible. So I like this, you know, just go for the lurk play for now. And he has to play this one a little bit close to the vest because you can see that the Mamba squad is there as well. Nice little chunky base there. It looks like, what is that going to be? One of those 5x5s with the advent calendar, I believe, bases.
Possibly. Good possibility over here. We see Caustic. They're coming up. They're taking control. They have control of the roof now. Vayne really making a critical error and letting them. This is really going to hurt them. They're going to have a hard push to try to get this roof back.
What's terrifying is that there is 1 point right there. It's twig on the base on the side wall. They're not allowed to break that quite yet, but that is a point of weakness that they will be looking to actually attack. They actually have control of the shooting floor now as they boost someone in or actually, you know, push someone in, and this is so scary for Caustic.
Yes. I don't know if Caustic's seen Vayne come in behind him or heard him because there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of footsteps, but definitely Caustic getting in that shooting floor and taking control will be catastrophic to Vayne.
They were struggling already before this of just building their base, so I don't even know what the state of the inside of their core is actually like. It does look like they've got some doors down at the very least. There's some garage doors, but how many other doors do you have to be able to actually hold this one now? Opening up, and so they have to feel a little bit more comfortable about controlling it. It looks like they were able to actually push some of the Caustic members out, but you can see they still have roof control right now. And this is not what you want during your attack phase. This is why you need to have that compound down so much earlier. One small weakness, Caustic find it, and they're taking a massive lead with it.
100%. They've jumped all the way up to third in points. They've really been able to capitalize on this Vayne team. You know, Vayne going back and forth. They're not completely out of it. They've regained control of the top again. They got quickly the shooting floor back, but the mental stress and the pressure that Caustic's put on them, it's got to be Wayne.
You gotta imagine like how many of their resources are being stolen as well, because we talked about it. Their furnaces are not in their compound, so if the team wants to just come in and steal a lot of this metal frag, just walk away with it. I don't know if they got any high qual in there either, and so their core might be a little bit weaker than anything else. Taking a look at the map right now, again, the density of the bases right there on the western center side, we have about half the squads, and then up top, a similar density, but a little bit more spread out, as you can see around military and launch site right now. The third patrol helicopter also coming out, so there might be a big fight over that one.
It's like we have a division between the north and the south. We have two different communities.
There's a big civil war going on here right now. But as we go back to the desert, we're taking a look at iain, which it looks like there was, what was that? The Nasport squad around here as well. I don't know if it's just taking time for this to load in, but oh no, they do not have a compound down. This is terrifying. We were talking about Vayne being in a tough spot, but even though you got this chunker of a base, if you don't have roof control here, this is actually, could be deadly.
Is this actually iain's base or is this Fine's base? I think this is Fine's base. Yes, iain taking control of the F9, sorry, my bad. My mouth works really well. My eyes, not as good, okay? Not as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying, Jamerson?
Yeah, iain right now with the roof control, they're getting some free PvP kills, and it looks like they're roof camping off another base, so this is insane. It looks like Saz Ranchi actually trying to come in to try and counter some of this, but with that full roof control, there's only 1 point to actually trying to get up here. You might have this nice little chunky 5x5, but when you have only 1 point of roof access, that means you just kind of funnel in and make it easy control on the rooftop.
So this iain is no stranger to base invaders. We know them very well. They will capitalize on anything they see. And this base is a fine example of what you can do wrong and how it goes wrong. And here you go. iain just making quick work of all this F9 group.
Yeah, but they have lost out on some presence. And oh, he's caught mid-air when the peak comes out. And that is the push stopped. Steak. I'll be able to regain control right now, but
that's not even his base.
No,
it's not their base.
Wait, how are these players getting in? I want to see like where the ladder up is, where the weakness is in this map right now. You can see, looks like the rest of the members of F9 trying to go for that trade, and it actually is successful. A really nice bait coming up from Mario here to allow his squad to now regain control of their base.
Jamesy taking the W here. Look at Jamesy go. We don't expect this much. They really, I think this is going to be one of the quickest raids we see at the start of the going into the raid phase.
Yeah, there's only 7 minutes to go. They don't have control. I'm sorry. I kind of got lost there on who's controlling what because there's so many players here. But this is the F9 base currently being controlled by iain. They have full roof control. I don't know how much they were actually able to get down. The biggest trouble as well is that they don't have any compound walls to go down. So this is just a free run back for any squad. But that also means that, you know, it's free for counters to actually come in.
Yes, we've seen a whole different team we weren't even expecting to almost get control themselves. So you never know what's going to happen. That's what makes this so much fun.
Yeah, we got 6 minutes left on the attack phase. That's when the boom will start flying, and that's what I am waiting for. It does look like patrol heli actually still out there. So, a lot of squads currently, more interested on, of course, securing a base, securing a raid for themselves. And so they're going to spend the last 6 minutes actually prioritizing that instead. There are a couple members over here by airfield currently actually trying to take it out. Danya might actually go down to it.
Yeah, they're debating whether I wonder if these guys are talking like, do we take it here? Do we try to get it closer to base? Are they trying to pull it off? Like, it doesn't really look like they're trying to get the take here. They're more so like waiting for this thing to go away.
Just like, take off everything, take off everything. But, oh, here comes the rocket run. And Kai, even though he was out in the middle of nowhere, does not actually get tagged by any of those rockets. So it looks like they are going to go ahead and full commit to it, but this is a little bit worrisome for me. Even though it's just a two-man of the Paseki squad out here trying to take heli by themselves, like, are they feeling that confident that they can leave their base, especially knowing the density of the bases in the area?
I don't think they want this heli, to be honest. I think they have no choice is what's going on here. I think they're at this point going, please make it stop shooting. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what this heli actually does and how the aggro holds and whether it just keeps circling this airport. I just want to remind everyone watching again, these are Rustoria server events brought every week on Sundays. Thanks to our wonderful sponsor, Rusty Pot. And if you haven't been there, go check their site out. It's really a lot of fun, but you have to be 18 plus to join.
Oh, Fair dropping low, but he almost has it. 31 HP. He has to back off of this one. Still getting hounded down by this, but this is one of the interesting things, right? Because we are in the 7v7s, you do have a lot more manpower to kind of spread around, but I mean, with 4 minutes left to go, do you really want to try and focus on attack heli?
I don't think they want any part of this. I really don't. This is my field. This thing should be dead. Should have been dead 5 minutes ago. I think heli's winning this fight, to be honest.
All right, just get in the tunnel. There you go. Get in the servers. Get out of there. No, he cuts him off. This is the most dangerous game. Kai is trying his best. They're so close. I feel like they almost got it.
There, now somebody pulled it off. It's kind of going off to the side here. Oh, but it's going to rocket one more time. Make sure Pesky knows it's still here.
Oh, it's Danya this time now, actually giving his teammates some space. This is so close. There we go. They finally get it down now. I believe it's a 5-minute timer. I could be wrong, but I believe it's a 5-minute timer on the crates. And so that is going to cut a little bit into the raid time for them. But I mean, we have 90 minutes of raid time, so they can definitely take some of the losses on time there.
I don't think they care about those crates right now. I really think they want to get away from that. I'm not sure, but I know they're running towards them. Of course, that's good points. But yeah, I think if there was points to be awarded there, the heli would have got top points at the end. No offense.
Oh, actually, speaking about points, Team Mamba, who had been leading for the large majority of our attack phase, actually now dropped down to second place with Caustic right behind them along with iain. It's ABS taking the lead, and a sizable one at that. 22 points currently over Team Mamba.
Yeah, ABS on the map doing work. We're going to have to check out them sometime. Pavsky here, though, they had all that trouble, and it looks like they might actually have a calm heli crate take. It doesn't look like they have a lot of people out there, but you know what? That heli sure made them work for it.
Yeah, there's 3 members of that pesky squad, I believe, in the area right now just to maintain control over it. And that's a little bit worrisome, having only 5 maybe back at base, but we'll see if they actually run them back or if they feel confident enough just to maybe leave only one person here to go ahead and take this one. But we've only got a few more minutes, and I'd love to kind of check in with the other bases, especially with some of the ones that already kind of lost control of their roofs.
Oh, we're in Klingon territory, I think. Or I seen them for a second anyway. But F9, let's look at F9. Oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah, Yeet's still all over them.
I mean, are we even sure this is F9's base? I mean, initially when we swapped on over to this side, all I saw were iain's names. They have full roof control right now. There's not a door also on that roof, so they have the shooting floor. But it looks like Zaz Ranchi actually coming in to try and counter this one, and their base is right there as well. Don't know if iain brought their boom over, if they're ready to just start going top down on F9.
Knowing Jamerson and knowing, Mango and that team, they will be prepared. They will, the minute that tick goes down, you're going to hear a boom. That's just my prediction. Again, we haven't really seen anybody with a rocket launcher, but we're not that close. One thing I will point out, anybody that's asking, if you go to the Discord that we're going to link in the Twitch stream, it gives you all the information on where to sign up, what's played every week, and the rules. And so we'll link that in the Twitch chat. We're on a delay. You're going to hear this in a few minutes, so I apologize, but definitely come play this event. It is so much fun. Jamerson, we're gonna make you play this, by the way, someday. Just saying.
I'm down. I'm definitely down. I know I'm gonna get slept around a little bit. My spray's still working on that right now, but I can definitely at least. Yep, I got that. What's my name? 19 seconds remaining here. Full control for iain Kaileyca. Things are not looking good for F9.
It is going to be a struggle. I expect. There we go. We got the C4. It's going to go off as soon as that timer goes down.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can see they're trying their best. They're upgrading everything they can. You heard the doors and locks going down as well. They're trying to make it as fast as possible. Try to delay and allow the counters to come in. Now, there was a knock on one of the iain members, and he might actually get finished off. And now the big difference this year is that SAS are starting to get, I believe, their raid platform down. They have bags and they have walls outside, so the counter is going to be incredibly strong. If iain want this raid, if they want this TC, they need to be incredibly fast, and they cannot be taking any more losses.
You're 100%. This base. Oh, and N was just eliminated by ABS. ABS had a quick target.
Wow, and they were already the leaders. It looks like iain now at 122. They might be able to find it extremely fast, and there it is already. Wow, the first minute of raid phase, and already 2 teams are gone.
This was intense. So starting this off, we got quick, vulnerable raids. You know, you have those teams that play in week out. They see that and they capitalize so fast.
And it's seeming like it's those squads that just were never able to get down their compound walls. Now going back to Team Vayne, remember Caustic were putting a lot of pressure on them earlier. They kind of forced them to panic, finish off their compound, but they're just getting pummeled from the side. And this is what I'm talking about. When you have the 7-mans, right, you get to 8 rockets through these walls, the 7-mans go extremely fast.
Yes, you got a lot of people that are able to rocket you at the same time. And this poor base here, Vayne's Mama kind of taking a look at it. Not sure if they're interested or not. I seen them on the side. But if they start pummeling from the opposite side, Vayne quickly going to feel the punch of these two teams.
Yeah, I like that Vayne tried to push out, but Caustic just have too much presence right now, and that force really worked against them. I know, like, they wanted to build near it to maybe just have some coverage there from the other bases, but now it really is working against them as Caustic are just pushing up. It's all up to Makima. He's one of the few people out here with some presence that has some HP. But you can see Caustic are getting up to that gate wall. I imagine by this point, Vayne finally have a lock on it. And it looks like Makima is just trying his best to wall off to keep this contained.
Yeah, Vayne really, they have no choice though. They had to get out of the base and they had to take it to the ground. So, I mean, you know, a good push on their part. Now we have Drops here who has a bed platform. They're going after Made having their compound open and their base starting to open up. Look at the amount of people here.
It's a pincer attack. You got Ford coming in from the other side, and this is just a base race. It's about who can try and pummel fast from this side and try and get into that core. And you can see the rockets just being volleyed on over. Deadly accuracy as well onto that side. I don't hear Fordex actually going for boom quite yet. Maybe they're still making their way on over. But for Team Made right now, I don't know if they're actually going to be able to fight back. I mean, this shooting floor, I don't know if it's going to actually provide them much presence, and they're just all contained right now.
It's not, and this is where it's deceiving. So this base here is interesting. You cannot have roof control without taking out some of those barricades at the top. Their shooting floor isn't bad. It's not as bad as you think. This is a chunky base. It takes a lot of rockets, this build inside the base. So this thing takes a lot more than you'd think, Jamerson.
It takes a lot of rockets, and it looks like Drops might have it. They're actually pushing into the breach already, so they have full compound control. And with the side actually cracked on open, Yone gets in, and also a little bit worried that he's getting stuck in honeycomb, but he does have the ladders to get himself right on out. Rocket PvP, and Yone survives! Frederick, oh, that was his opportunity to maybe try and wring back control for his team, but now Yone are all over them.
Drops really making good work getting inside this base. Now that's what they need to do. They need to raid it from the inside. It is a thick bait.
Yeah, we got the C4 going off as well, and so that chunk you were talking about, you need to deal with it. That's going to be from the inside. You do have to be what is that, a 2x2 core ultimately with the advent calendars as well. So this could be time consuming, and I feel like, oh no, they're allowing them access to their beds. This is looking quite dire for this squad.
Yes, Maid needs to get them out of there. This is their weakest, is having them inside, having them take control and getting rid of their beds. So again, Maid really not looking too hot.
Yeah, they were able to just run through the halls with their C4, and it looks like almost half the doors already gone on the inside, and they are making short work of this space. This could be the third squad getting knocked down fairly shortly here, and we're still left with about 85 minutes left here in the raid phase. This is absolutely insane. Now we'll see if Fordex can possibly try and snipe this away. They're going to try a similar thing to what Team Drops did. First opening up the shell and then pushing their way on in. But this is going to be a big battle. Drops actually defending the raid now for Team Made to make sure they maintain control over this.
So Drops knows if they keep control, it's somewhere in these doors. They need to keep trying these doors. They're doing it the fastest they can. The team Fordex on the outside rocketing in, they're wasting a lot of boom. It's not really progressing them anywhere, so they know they need to keep them at bay.
At what point do you think the Fordex members actually try to breach themselves? It looks so dangerous, right? Having to contend with two separate squads, but maybe in the chaos, they find an opportunity, they find the guy with all the C4, and they themselves are trying to blow in.
That is always the balance and the measures. All these, you have to, that's the thing with Base Invaders. If you like Rust and you like playing regular Rust, this is like playing it on speed run. And the calculations that these guys go through in their heads trying to figure out everything, it's phenomenal. It's actually a high. To play this event is like a high. And there we go. We have Baines was eliminated by Caustic. I think we seen that coming, unfortunately, didn't we, Jamerson?
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. They had full control during the attack phase. And now speaking about full control, Drops are in their loot room. They are going through core. They are breaking beds. And I don't even know if they have any more to actually rely upon to spawn back on in. Now you can see a better look. They are getting the C4 down. It's just a few doors remaining here. And they have absolute control over this base.
Yes, so Drops, this is just, you know, a matter of time. They're quickly trying, Mate's quickly trying to figure out like where everything is at this point.
Yeah, for Team Drops, they're currently in 5th place. They're at 86 points, so they're about 90 off from first place, but getting this one TC will easily propel them and put them right behind, I believe, iain after. Hopefully they get it because they have committed a lot into this. They're also getting a lot of kills. They're also forcing, you know, the team to run back from outside bags. Teammate have almost no bags left in this base.
Yeah, Drops, that's why you've seen them, Jamerson, they went right for those boxes, because not only did they bring their own, they're using what this team had in their base against them now.
It's so terrifying. And for Fordex, it looks like they're not going to have any opportunity to try and get in. There's the TC exposed.
Does he see it? Does he see it?
There we go. He spots it out. 1 C4, and that is going to be the TC for Team Drops.
Our eye in the sky, Ian, today with his first TC capture. Yay! And Made was eliminated by Drops.
Yeah, that puts them right behind now. You can see only about 5 points off from, I believe, iain. So bases are going quick here. It's our first 10 minutes. We've already, lost out on 4 teams now. Looking at ABS, I don't know. Yeah, this is looking like their second raid already going in on this base. It doesn't seem like the compound was completed. They tried to get the custom gate out there, but they never actually completed it. So ABS are they looking to get control onto this one? FXX possibly coming in for the counter as well.
ABS has been steamrolling from about 15 minutes of this attack phase on to now. They have literally been just climbing and trying to pull away in points. So, oh, that was it. That rocket. We hate that rocket.
Yeah, I'm wondering, it seems like this is Team Pobita currently in 6th place right now. And I don't see any Pobita names. It looks like they're all outside the base as well. And they have no opportunity to try and defend this one. They are right into things. They have, half a team basically just pummeling right now for the rest of this, but ooh, never mind. The rocket PvP, not quite enough. They actually stay alive.
This has been so exciting, Jamerson. And like always, every Sunday, we do this twice a day. We do it in the morning and we do it in the afternoon, this event. So if you're watching this week, make sure you come next week and check us out. And if you're lucky, Jamerson might be doing it.
I got a little lost there. It was Team with their base that they're actually working out. Pobita have an angle, but a base believe, on the other side of this one as well. But for ABS, they still have full control over this compound right now. FXX tracking try to come in for the counter, and this is a little bit worrying for them. They do have to kind of keep that threat first. They both a little bit focused on that outside, but Straffy and Officer as the two-man coming in for the counter.
Friendly fire, thank God it's off. That's all I can think. I've seen more Team Rockets in the face than I cared. Oh man, if this was real Rust, I'd be dead 10 times over.
Yeah, Jesse, James, Team Rocket blasting off again. Straffy, though, still with the outside control right now for FXX. If you can try and kill K, that would actually help out them a little bit to wrestle back control. It does seem like for Team Boom, they only have their beds up top. They can try to come in from the roof, and that's, I believe, where the large majority of their beds are. ABS is still about to take back control, but here's Tyrael actually taking out K. Now he's got the boom in hand. At this point, do you want to try and control the base or just continue blowing away with whatever you stole?
It's always a gamble, and you never really know. Now, the one thing you're going to find about this ABS team, you see them communicating. You've seen him pull in and out, like whether he's booming or whether he's coming out to help. You know, we need help. So you do see that good team communication.
Oh, FXX might have actually been able to blow in from the side, and they are getting into core right now. And you can see this is the pincer attack on the team. They have been dealing with it possibly for the last 10 minutes, and their outer shell is just absolutely suffering. I don't know how much loot they have up top. There is a launcher on the back of one of the members, but I don't know if he's got any HPs to really try and fight with this right now.
I do see their builder focusing on the left-hand side. Something in my spidey sense tells me they don't have a concern with the side we're looking at, but more so the left-hand side. So again, I've been watching Straffy. He must be a real-life rat or something, because he's constantly playing those angles. Here we go. Here's the builder on this side. This is a concern to them. So this team on this side is giving them the most problem.
Yeah, so that might be the indicator. TC might be on this side somewhere in these halls. What's more worrying is that he can only upgrade with wood right now. So we'll see. Maybe they just no longer have access to their metal frags. Maybe they're just out of resources here.
Maybe they need to check the fridge, Jamerson. Look, if they go down and they check the fridge, maybe they'll find what they need. Who has a fridge in their base Invader?
Oh, Straffy actually comes in with a nice flank there. We saw ABS. This is the side that ABS controlling, but now Straffy is in there. He should be able to pick up the boom, I believe, was on K's body, but they have made short work of this side. More C4 going down. They're getting closer and closer to the team. You have to feel it.
Oh, you can feel it, can't you? Straffy is the ultimate rat, though, in this event. Very interesting to watch him alone. Just make all these maneuvers and weave in and out, and nobody actually pay attention to him being...
Yeah, Kaylee, like, when I was watching back on a lot of the VODs, I was very impressed with how Straffy was playing a lot of these fights. Now, you can see a lot of the members of FXX actually entering the breach. They still have a little bit of presence on the outside, but it's all about just committing everything onto this open door into the core. There's a bed as well. Never mind, it's not quite core yet, but hey, they at least have one door open for themselves, especially in this room. They know that time is of the essence. They need to finish this off before ABS regroups.
Yes, they do. And this ABS group, you know, you have one of the top base Invaders winners in this team. You have a very seasoned team. So again, to see them on the top, not a shock. To see how they play it's really fun to watch when you watch these events.
Yeah, and this is an important base to try and stop the momentum of ABS, because if they take this, it's almost like they run away with this event, right? Unless someone raids their own base. But they currently have a 45-point lead over our second place squad, Caustic. I mean, that's one TC, but over FXX, they have a 100-point lead. So this would be a huge change of momentum for FXX if they can snipe this one away.
X has really done a huge job in really taking control, but we're going to jump. But that is really good what they've done there.
All right, so now we're on board with Cats and Pobita, and it's looking like a laser tag arena out here with all these walls, a paintball arena out here with all these walls down, and I wonder how much of their time has been committed onto each other. It looks like we do have some upgrades and some rockets coming in over the Pobita squad side. Cats, they do have a raised platform down, no beds quite yet. I don't know if they have the clearance to actually be able to get walls down in front of that either. So this is looking a little bit wonky as German's actually coming in for a third party.
So, Cats, I'm actually surprised today because this is a group of PvPers. We know these guys, they just came off playing Trust and Rust, to be honest. I would have thought they'd be a little stronger in the PvP side of it today. So they're having a little bit of an off day. They got a little bit of a roster change. Maybe they're just trying to figure each other out. Oh, and MMM was eliminated by FSX. They took that raid, Jamerson.
That's massive because that puts a stop to the momentum of ABS. I mean, ABS, it was looking like they were going to chain raids after raids. I mean, we saw that within the first minute, they were one of 2 squads that ended up finding a TC. They were that fast with it, and they were trying to find a second one. But stopping that momentum, stealing away some of their boom, that's huge play coming out of FXX. I really want to say a lot of that Straffy, he was in there, in that counter the entire time, made some huge plays for his squad. So massive plays coming in from FXX. I wonder if ABS see that and they think, hey, maybe we just take these guys out if they're going to continue to counter our raids.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, ABS, that's going to burn their side. They're going to be mad over that one. They did a majority of the work right from the start. So again, now we're back here. We see drops again. Oh, and did he ever drop?
Bodies drop.
Did we drop? What?
Yeah. So this is Fortex's base. Drops have been on this right now. They're looking for another TC here. They're pulling in from the side. No. It looks like multiple angles actually being approached on this one. The shell is just being absolutely battered here.
You know, again, we talk about having, you know, some of the best in Rust play this game. This Drops team is... Oh!
Ooh.
Ford X was eliminated by Drops. And again, Drops showing them, hey, we know how to play base invaders. We'll show you.
Yeah, I mean, the efficiency, once you're able to get inside of a base, once you're able to get the C4s down, start going through the doors, instead of just trying to pummel through the side, even though this is 7v7 and should go a little bit faster with the rocket raids, we see why C4 is so incredibly powerful, especially in the meta right now where, you know, you're just trying to hide your TC behind a random door inside the base. But going on over, it looks like this is Team Pesky's base. Now, believe what? They ended up getting 2 out of 3 of the attack helis, but now they are on the back foot as Zaz Ranchi are actually able to get in. They have compound control, and we do have, about 3 or 4 members of Pesky actually up top on the roofs.
So remember at the start when we were looking at the map and we kind of said we had to the north and to the south. What we're seeing is because of the way these bases built in this event today, we're not having to see a lot of bed platforms. Everybody's pretty close. They're able to run back. It's been a lot of domination over the proximity of these bases.
Oh, Zaz
and wow!
Get the TC. Oh my goodness. I don't know how they knew or if they were just lucky, but being able to boom in from this side, rocket in from here. That's our first rocket snipe, I believe, on TC that we've seen.
What a luck. That's amazing. There'll be a lot of cheering in that Discord channel right now. Again, we've had a lot of TCs go and we've only been in raid phase, what now, 17, 18 minutes?
18 minutes, but that's why the attack phase is so important. That's why we're seeing so many teams putting pressure on squads, making sure they weren't able to finish off their compound, making sure they didn't have roof control. And you can see why, you know, a lot of these players are just veterans when it comes to this. Now, BR-Mans end up losing out on roof. They do have Mamba actually up here currently, and it seems like, you know, things are in control for them right now.
Yeah, they do. And just so I'm reminding everyone that's watching, you know, we just came off our huge Trust and Rust event last week. A lot of those players that were playing in that Trust a lot of your favorite Rust Twitch streamers, they're in these events weekly and they're playing right now. So a lot of them got fire in their belly last week because they missed it so much and they're coming back again to play this week. And you can play too. Next week, you can sign up and you can play. And Jamerson and I, or one of our other wonderful casters, will be here to make fun of you just as well too.
I'm having an absolute blast. The team that's not having a blast, it's going to be BR-Mans right now. Jelly, you can see for Team Mamba, have full control over this roof right now. What we're not hearing, though, is the boom. So that does leave me a little bit of cause. Maybe Mamba is just controlling while the rest of his squad are running back with it. It does seem like a small fight, or actually, never mind. As things load in, Obita starting to push up through these walls to try and get onto the Team Cat's base.
This is a lot of PvP walls. There's been a lot of deaths in these walls. I feel it. I feel.
Oh yeah, there's a third base off to the side. You can see the walls are angled that way to try and get some coverage there, making it a little bit more difficult for them to actually push in. It's going to be ABS. Batman off on his own, actually, in the rooftop, just stealing away some free kills for his squad, and that's actually slowing down Pobeda quite a bit. They're trying to rocket in from the side. I don't know if, again, you're running that gamble, right? Are we going to commit a lot of boom onto the outer shell wall here, just for the hope that, you know, there's a 1 in 4 chance, basically, right, that TC is going to be on this side?
Yes, I'm actually, as much as I'm trying to focus on this raid here, my interest goes off to the side there. We see ABS and we see FFX. They're over there. They have a grudge match. FXX stole the raid from ABS. They are next to each other, and it kind of looks like they're going back and forth out there in those PvP walls. So who's pushing who?
Yeah, this is surprising, right? I mean, ABS, like we said, do have a grudge with them. But it looks like it was actually FXX trying to push up off to ABS. They have their raid platform down. They have the beds there as well. ABS. Oh, wait, never mind. This is the
they're
former
fighting.
Base.
They're fighting over the loot. So, okay, what happens for anyone watching, if you're new to this, when these bases, when you take a TC, they actually, once everyone clears out, they delete the base. So all the loot falls on the floor. So all those people's rockets and C4 are free to whoever gets them first. So FXX and ABS still in a grudge match trying to get that loot from this base.
And there has to be a ton of boom. There has to be a ton of C4 and rockets there because that squad just never got out of their base. They were maybe spent a fair amount of it trying to go for the rocket PvP, but you know that there's going to be a lot more. So ABS still trying to go in, but it's all FXX. The absolute presence. They have 4 members inside. Tyrael with a nice little flank there will go ahead and secure this one up. They're going to wall it off, and it's full control for FXX. So it's not just 1 dub. That's going to be 2 dubs that FXX take over ABS.
Yes, and I'm going to give them the 3. I'm going to give them the triple kill because what they've done is slowed down ABS and their momentum. Drops quickly climbing in the points, and Mamba closer to ABS, who were pulling away prior to all this with FXX.
Yeah, there was about a 40, maybe 50 point difference between ABS and drops, but now that is cut down to 30. And throughout all that as well, FXX, you have to remember, they were about 100 points down from ABS. They bring this within about 60 some odd points. So ABS, they might have to kind of cut their losses here and maybe find another target, but they also have to worry consistently about FXS coming in to strike them because now they were able to, steal some boom in the counter, I believe, from ABS, and also get the boom from that raid. So the power that they're going to have on their next raid is going to be incredibly strong.
Yes, and that ABS team, the reason I say they're getting to them in the mental and whatnot is they are one of the most winningest teams on this map. This group has worked together. They have a couple of new players in their team. They know how to play this event. So anything to slow them down or stop their momentum is only going to help everyone else in trying to win today.
The real winners in that match is Drops and Mamba, who are able to catch up against ABS. If they keep fighting each other, there is a huge opportunity for both, Drops and Mamba to come up. For Team Cats, though, right now, they're still trying to defend their base up against Pobeda. You can see that a little bit of the outer shell has been broken into, but despite having a 7-man, despite having all the rockets to be able to try and pummel in from the side, they really haven't made that much progress onto the base, and really, it's coming out to the roof camping and the third party coming out from that other base. Now, we do have a raid up here on to the north. It's going to be Andrew WK. Never mind, that's Andre Ka. Looks like trying to push in onto this squad. Actually might have lost out. I don't know if this is Baykartar's. No, I believe this is Equagon's. Yeah, Equagon K's team base, and they have multiple teams in here.
We are in Star Wars territory, or is that... Yeah, Star Wars. Let's go with that. Again, these teams and their names, love them.
We're here to piss off every fandom.
Right?
At some point, we are going to piss off your fandom tonight.
They seem to have made quite an opening in one side of this base. I'm not seeing. Do we even see the base? Oh yes, they're on the opposite side. They're kind of trying to, I think, reorganize. They might have got their beds taken out because it looks like they're coming from the outside, maybe.
This base has been torn wide open to the side. I don't know if they've got any form of control whatsoever. They have any base beds. They do have, I believe, one player spawned down below, but things are looking really dire for Equagon here. This is one of the squads squads, I believe, that we saw that were fighting over Optum during the attack phase. And, you know, it might have been a little bit better if they maybe try to put some presence on the outside. See, they basically have nothing to work with, and they're just getting torn apart.
These base owners are literally in the bottom screaming, Scotty, beam me up at this point, because they really need to get to those top floors and really flush out those teams.
Oh, it looks like maybe a raid actually pulled back one of the squads that were trying to come in for this one. On board with Caustic right now. They scrappy their way on over. Got the rocket PvP. So their raid platform, not the safest here. You can see that is a really tall base. And they might actually have an angle to be able to clear this one out. And that's bed after bed going down. So, nice little defense coming out from hJune here, who had to pull away from that raid, and now they are going on the defense.
Caustic really being shown like we've seen them kind of dominate. They come in, take control. Andrew Ka here, they really said, it's not going to be that easy. We're going to make you work.
Yeah, this is why it's so important that you need to be able to respond quickly, right? When we're into the 7v7s, when we're talking about the rocket pummels, this is the efficiency that you can have. And especially when a team's coming in with that scrappy, you know they have a game plan in mind, and they are executing on it right now. They need to kind of reestablish themselves here on this raid platform, because they currently only have those 2 beds, but they still do have control right now. hJune trying their best. They do have roof control at the very least, but their outer shell is getting worked on, and there are weaknesses, and they're going to go ahead and continue this pummel.
For sure. I'm just, it's the scrappy. It's flying away. I thought it was flying into this fight. So, again, they really, it's kind of even right now. This is kind of at a standstill. They're kind of going back and forth. I really love the fight that Andrew Ka is putting up.
Yeah, they're making sure that they no longer have that raid platform. You can see the walls are gone, the beds are gone. Even though Caustic had some presence, this might actually just be a complete wash. So really good defense coming out from hJune, who had to pull back forces. Remember, they were trying to actually go after a raid themselves, and so they have to now take some time to deal with Caustic. We'll see if maybe some Caustic members can actually get out with a boom, because this is largely over for them. They had the element of surprise, but it was a really fast turnaround from hJune. So, you know, shout outs to them for being able to respond to this.
Yes, this is a great defense. I love to see this. Oh, you were saying?
Oh, there are some members of Caustic actually inside, so it might not be a complete wash. They do have beds, but they're not able to clear it quite yet. They need a little bit more presence. hJune, almost all of their members currently on the roof right now because they have lost control of their compound and their inner shell.
I did see iain taking a sniff at the backside. They were, but I don't think they're here yet. They were kind of in the background. But again, Caustic, this has not been easy for them. They are really getting pushed back.
They need to close some of these doors. They need to start getting some extra doors down as well, and maybe try and seal up the compound for themselves. This looks like it should be a fairly easy seal for them and raid defense. But for right now, they are still trying to make sure that they have control over their inner shell currently, and it does seem like they were able to push back a lot of the Caustic members, even though they lost control of their compound for a moment. There's only 1 member of Caustic still inside, and looks like only a few members on the outside as well.
And we just seen Cats. They were eliminated by ABS. Again, Cats not having the best of days today. They are a strong PvP group. Really didn't see them in their best force today. And you know, that's what happens. Sometimes it's just not the good week.
Yeah, and I believe, you know, this was Pobita, right? That was trying to actually start this initiation on this raid. But it looks like, yeah, they were able to just come in from behind. And they might have just been lucky on which side the TC was on, because I didn't see that much damage from where ABS was raiding in from, but they do also have full control of the base right now. And it looks like now Pobita are starting to get the focus of this as FXX are coming in. It's a race once again between ABS and FXX to try and control this side of the map.
So my prediction, ABS and FFX, one's going to go after the other. I don't know when it's going to happen, but somebody, there's going to be enough hostility over this event and how this is going today. I think there's going to be a grudge raid.
Wow, look at these platforms going down for FXX. They have 2 separate ones going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 beds on either side, and you imagine they're out of range of each other. What a setup coming out from FXX. They're actually putting a lot into this right now, but we also know that ABS are basically on the other side of this raid. They are ready to try and come in for the pummel. I'm wondering where the defense is coming out for Pobita, because now they have to deal with 2 squads.
They should technically have to deal with a third squad, but I see Germans over there. They're just kind of chilling. They're just kind of observing what's going on today in their base. I don't know if they're. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing over there, but they definitely should be over here and getting in on this action.
Remember, if you get knocked out, that's it. You're done. And so that might be maybe the Germans' opportunity to try and come in for the blitzkrieg later on. For Pobeda, they're trying their best to hold on. ABS now sizing things up. They might try to go for the counter here. We do have one member of ABS on the right-hand side. He can try and make a play for one of these raid platforms, but we have to remember that FXX currently have 2 set up, and here comes a wide flank coming up from ABS. Should be ready to throw down a wall as we get another notification. Zazranchi ends up eliminating Mass Sport. You can see FXX, knowing that the counter is here, instantly try and push out on this man.
They are going in close quarters here. He knows he's in trouble. He knows his team can't help him. He is desperately trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah, he's calling for his team. Guys, I need your help here. We need to deal with FXX. And the never-ending battle, basically, between ABS and FXX on this side of the map. They are committing a lot of resources onto it. A wide wrap coming out from the right-hand side. Strappy pushing in from the left. And with that presence, never mind, he is not going to be able to go for the peak. It's going to be FXX coming out on top on this fight. But this is all positioning. This is all about trying to assert dominance. But the rest of ABS, they're setting up a little bit of a platform, it seems like, over here, but Germans now finally poking out to get involved in this fight.
Yes, and Germans are, again, poor ABS today, you know. They're nothing but a thorn in ABS's side. They're not really trying to raid. Oh, are they? Actually, I did see some rockets. I'm not sure if they're flying from the German side. Or it's ABS side, sorry. The camera angles, sometimes I get a little lost. But, again, Germans just being that annoying little thread, you know, poking at them and really not being effective whatsoever.
Yeah, I believe it was the German squad that was also a thorn in the side of Pobeda when they were trying to push Cats. That was a large reason why Pobeda were not able to finish that raid. Large reason why ABS were able to come in, counter, and steal that one away. So right now, Germans are just playing absolute spoilers for everyone else, it seems. ABS, though, they have gotten a little bit of a foothold here. They have their raid platform down. It's a little bit further back than FXX's. And when I say that, I mean FXX have 2 raid platforms on their side. But the pummel is beginning. They are starting to break through the shell.
And again, a chunky base. This is not an easy raid. This is going to take a lot of rockets until they get inside and they can start C4ing these doors.
Yeah, we'll see if Pobeda can have some sort of presence here. Maybe they can push out, but this is one of those situations. It's so difficult to navigate when you're getting raided by 2 separate squads. When can I push out? When can I try and at least get some control over this counter raid? And it looks like they're just completely turtled in right now. They're just trying to survive. They're hoping that a counter comes in to create that opening for them. And Germans are actually giving them some of that breathing room now. But on the other side, you got FXX pummeling as well.
ABS not getting anything easy today. They're being made to work for everything. They have Germans on their back. They got the base owners on them. They got FFX to their side. Meanwhile, FXX kind of having free reign over here. They're poking a little bit at ABS. They're actually opening a majority of their side. Oh my God. Look.
And finally, it looks like Caustic were able to get that TC of Andre Ka. They lost that raid for a little bit, but they stayed determined. Looks like they maybe got some beds down and were able to come back in. Caustic now put themselves within 4 points of Team Mamba, currently in 3rd place. ABS, they're trying to outpace everyone, right? They're going from raid to raid to raid. This is their, 3rd so far. But if this gets sniped away from them, again, FXX might be able to actually make it a 4-5 team race for 1st place.
Germans actually trying to creep their way up, and Pobeda made quick work of them within the walls. Let me tell you, they were safer at home. They quickly realized. FXX, again, Pobeda needed Joker on the move, trying to get to their base, their base platform. They really smart decision bringing this to the ground.
Yeah, this is what you're looking for. We were talking about it. When you're getting pummeled from either side, it's very difficult to try and find that moment to know when you need to push out. But they saw that on the other side, ABS were having to deal with Team German, so Bovita find the opening here to come out on FXX. For FXX though, they do have a secondary raid platform as well, you can see, but it is being dealt with. Straffy is trying to get beds down because they are getting clear on the other side. Now, they only have one member, it looks like Bovita up now as V-Kid will end up going down. So FXX will stabilize on the outside, but they still need to get their beds back down and continue this raid. It is a race to see who can take Bovita's TC.
So interesting fact about that last raid too. Those are some of the teams you see week in, week out. So all those teams that are fighting there, they know each other and they are just having so much fun.
Caustic now rotating over for their next raid. They just took one. They're going for another one. They're already on the vulnerable side of this base. The shell is halfway cracked open. It looks like Qui-Gon getting hit up from every side. You got Bayraktar there. You got Drops. You got Caustic. 3 teams trying to just open up your base from any other side.
Oof and Yait. Oof and Yait. Okay,
that just sounds like comms. That's just my comms when we're playing Rust. But it looks like Yagi are in here. They've got their rockets, and I'm surprised that they're actually, maybe they were worried, about people pushing out. And so they're going to rocket PvP just a little bit, but now they are inside of their shell.
Is it wrong of me that anytime Yai gets a TC, I just want them all to like group holler at Yai? Like I really, in my head, that's what happens. Okay, that's all.
If they're not doing that, I'd be disappointed in them.
Right?
So just making sure, you got to make sure you guys in the comms, you got to make sure you're living up to your name, quite literally here. But they are inside the admin calendar walls. Yeah. There's still Twig as well of the seal.
This is so exciting to watch. I love when the booms start going off. It's so, like, it's exciting.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's, it's January, I get it, but it's still Christmas for all of us, basically, here at Base Invaders. It looks like some of the defense is actually coming in for Team Oof. They got someone inside on the inner peaks currently, actually, taking out a few members. So they might have been able to slow things down. We'll see if they can seal, but there was a good amount of presence on the outside.
So I want to remind everyone that's watching us, if you have questions, type it in the Twitch chat. We'll try to answer you. We're on a small delay, so it takes about 5 minutes for us to answer you, but we will do it. We play this every Sunday. Come back, check us out morning and night. In a few hours, we do this event again, EU time, NA time, and you can play this event. You want to play, you want to be part of this action, you want to play some of the best in Rust, you can join and play weekly here with us.
Ooh, ABS, it looks like they are inside now of the base. C4 through the walls currently, trying to get into that core, trying to get into the shell, but yeah, not much value there when it was all honeycomb. But K is not going to be deterred. He is going to go ahead and continue. He senses something. He senses something about this base.
Again, ABS, they've been working hard this whole event. You can see it in the points, but it's not been easy. They have worked for every point as far as we can see. Nothing has been just steamrolled. They've literally always seemed to always have a team. Oh, and look, we're going through this wall.
Yep, wall after wall. I mean, you're definitely right. They have been putting in the work. They have not stopped whatsoever. They have moved and transitioned from raid to raid. This is their third so far, and it's going to be a turn on the other side of this one. K's got to go ahead and get out of dodge, but he will end up getting taken down. Wizard with the defense on the roof, and it's really unfortunate. You end up spending, what, like 12 C4, 16 C4 to get through all those walls, and it's a turret on the other side. But ABS, will not be deterred. They got Batman there inside the base currently. He has been spotted out though. They know he is below them. We'll see if they can clear him out.
Mamba just with the huge elimination there, bring them way up there within 10 points now of ABS with that raid they just got.
ABS know that they are racing basically against every other squad. They are pushing in. They are pushing through breach, sending about half their team inside. What a state this base is in. Half the roof is gone. They have been almost cored through this point, but ABS have not been able to find much here. FXX on the other side now starting to make their way into the breach. So multiple teams currently trying to just race for this final TC.
I feel they need a builder. I feel like they need a builder urgently. It's a little airy in there.
Yeah, someone please get your hammer, get your building plans. I just we need some sort of presence, but it looks like they've been kind of relegated to their roof trying to defend this one. And we saw earlier on that a lot of the roof ramps were actually taken out, so they really couldn't go for the peaks, and the defense from the roof just kind of broke down. And at this point, FXX are in here, ABS in here. It's a great between both of those teams. FXX, if they take this again, they stop the momentum of ABS. They do teams like Mamba and Caustic a favor. They end up losing out on a few though as they push through that breach.
You are so right. Oh, and Oof has been eliminated, but not by who we thought.
Yeah, it's gonna be Zaz Ranchi coming in for that one. That propels them up into 6th place now with 194. Now they're still about 130 points off from ABS, but anything can happen. We're not even at the halfway point yet of the raid phase. We still have 50 minutes remaining.
This has been amazing, full of excitement. And again, if you're watching us, make sure you follow this channel. You can come meet us back here Sunday. We're going to do this every week, 2 events every week. You can sign up, you can come watch. If you're even good enough, you can come past. I mean, fill it up. You can come hang out with Jamerson. He's a lot of fun.
I'm glad you gave me some leeway there. Like, if you're good enough, I don't know if I can keep up with these, especially with players and teams like ABS and FXX right now who are just absolutely dominating this side of the map. You can see Bara on a kill streak currently with 5, trying to control this base. It's another race between ABS and FXX. You can see the hallways, the corridors being set up in this base. The honeycomb is just slowing down this raid so much.
Do you know what's interesting when you're watching, and especially when you're casting and watching? You see them go through and start throwing the C4 in all the doors because they don't stop, which you know, this is time. Everything's time. Remembering to go back and check the doors. I'd be throwing it everywhere and be like, oh yeah, where did I put that?
Yeah, it's probably most difficult when like you get that initial breach, right? When you get into their inner peak downs, and then you just throw like 40 C4 down, and you have the entire hallway that you need to check. Looks like Mamba though might be trying to come in for a counter onto this raid. Remember, we already have ABS and FXX involved in this one right now, and now we have a 3rd team looking to get involved.
Mamba, if they want to win today, they cannot stop. Whether it's PvP, whether it's raiding, they cannot stop. This ABS team is not slowing down. And you see, they were 12 points of the difference, and look at ABS pulling away just from the PvP point.
Mamba, looks like they know that they need to try and snipe something away. And I love this. I love this fact that like teams, they need to smell the opportunity. They need to say, hey, we should try and get involved. You know, there might be a 10% chance of getting the TC, but a 10% chance of 40 points is massive. And so they're going to go ahead and try and take it. They're already up the compound walls as well. And unfortunately for the base owners here, things are just looking more and more dire.
Pomba has not had a moment's peace now in what, 25 minutes? A good solid 20 minutes. It's insane what they've had to deal with, but the base still stands.
Yeah, Pobita, they're able to clear out a little bit, but it sounds like, you know, things are looking a little bit scary here. Like you said, someone needs to pull out the building plan. There it is right there on the ground. Pick it up, start sealing, try to get some walls up, but they're just in shambles, and it's all about trying to maintain control. FXX now, they have been pushed out of the base at the very least, and there's one member of Pobita actually outside. So this might allow them to actually try and regain control of their compound wall.
Pobita not giving up, you know, this has been a hammering right from the start. So they're doing a great job in still, you know, just keep going, never stop. That's the whole key to Base Invaders. We have the real Boom asking in chat, didn't know this was open to public. Any single person can play this event. You go to the Discord, you sign up. The announcement is every Monday, and then you have to sign up by Wednesday. It is a lot of fun. I've played this many times, and ooh. Oh, that already happened. We're just, you know, we want it. Poor Oof. We had to show you again just in case you didn't know they were gone.
The second time. I mean, the action has been so heavy, right, Kaylee? There's been so much going on. So many teams are already gone already. And we're halfway through now at 46 minutes remaining. So we just had to give a quick reminder here. For FXX, though, they are back in the base. Pobita have lost control once more of this raid, and the boom is continuing. This time around, it's going to be the rocket coming from the outside. They need to make quick work. They need to deal with so many walls, but this honeycomb meta is just too strong sometimes. You can see how it slows things down, but still, they're working on the side.
You know, you ever hear when the vultures are circling, and that's what this base is at this point. This is everybody's gonna come up and say, "Hey, look, it's almost done. I'm just gonna do this," and they're just gonna have all these rockets flying from different angles in hopes of getting this TC.
And that's what happens when teams like ABS and Caustic are just going in base to base, already knocking out between the two of them. I believe what 4 TCs, 4 bases between both ABS and Caustic. That means that there are less and less targets remaining. And so if you hear boom, you have to go. You have to at least try for the counter. You have to try to snipe it away from them. So yeah, it definitely is just vultures just circling on the Pobita base currently.
Yes, Pobita again doing a great job not giving up here. Their base showing just how strong it has been. Oh,
it's just a pummel now. Boom after boom. ABS are inside. It's so difficult to tell who actually has control over this because it's an absolute maze. You can see there are FXX members, ABS members, Pobita in there as well, trying their best to defend, but it's only a matter of time. Throughout all that, finally Drops were able to take out that Aquagon base.
Drops needed that TC so bad. It brought them up into the 300 points. Again, they're 1 TC and a bunch of PvP points away from being top. They needed that. They were kind of dragging behind, but this really makes it competitive again.
That brings us down to 9 squads, I believe, or somewhere close to that. I mean, so many teams have already gone down. You can see in the top 10, we already have, yep, it's actually only going to be 10 squads remaining, so half the teams already gone from the lobby. We're about to lose one more in just a moment. FXX, ABS continuing to just seaport through all these doors.
We have a lot of strong raiding teams today, and we're seeing that. We're seeing these quick raids. We're seeing how everybody's just continually pummeling. It's great. If we go to 10 teams with 43 minutes left, my dream. Do you know what my dream is, Jamerson?
FXX or ABS pushing each other and trying to raid each other's bases?
No, but that's a wonderful one too. I dream someday we have a last man standing TC. That is my dream.
I mean, with 40 minutes remaining, the likelihood of that happening is incredibly high. I would love to see that right now. Who actually comes out on top? I mean, this is supposed to be base invaders, but it's looking more like a PR at this point with how many squads have dropped, and it might just be the last team standing.
We have Drew Boo saying he'd love to hang out with Jamerson. We too. I got the privilege today, and you can too next week. Possibly come back, be with us, throw us a follow. Just, you never know. He's going to turn up a lot, I think.
What's up, Drew B, baby? Along with Cuban Son 420. Thanks for showing up. You guys showed up at the right time because this raid has been absolutely insane. Pobita, they're still trying to defend, but take a look at this base. It's in shambles. I don't even know where you would start when you're trying to rebuild this if you can defend.
But kudos to this builder, right? Like, this base has taken a beating, and it's still here. ABS, they really didn't know what they were taking on when they came into this fight. But again, strong PvP team. Regardless, they started here. They were around like 330 points. They're now up to 371 just in PvP alone.
It's looking like an MC Escher painting, right? Like the sheer geometry of this, and I don't even know what's up and down anymore at this point. I don't know if ABS or FXX know either. At this point, there's still so many doors that they have to clear. I feel like TC's actually exposed and no one knows because there's so much chaos going on inside here.
We have the great, bird's eye view, and we take our guesses. Where do you think it might be? What do you think they might be missing at this point, Jamerson?
I mean, that's always my question, right? Even though you try to build these corridors and hallways, sometimes you could just go ahead and build this door because so many teams put focus on the outer shell, right? On the outer doors instead. And I wonder how often do teams actually just instead decide to just go ahead and put it in core? But where's the core of this base? Where does the core begin and where does the outer shell end?
This is an open concept, okay? Very much in vogue, open concept. really easy to heat at this point, you know.
Oh boy, the fighting has not stopped. And, does seem like the beneficiaries of that is, like you said, ABS. They have been winning out on a lot of these fights. Mamba were close, but now ABS have pulled up to about 40 points, 50 points above them, just off the PvP points. Remember, people have to be kitted. They have to have a gun at the very least for those kills to count. And because teams are running in, players are running in, picking up an AK, ABS is picking up a lot of those.
Yes, ABS, you know, nonstop, constant work, and you see the stamina in that team. Again, we're here every week. This is open to the public. You can come sign up, play, come hang out with us on the Twitch. And again, Rusty Pot. That is the reason that we're able to pull these events every week. Go check them out if you're 18 plus. You can gamble in skins. I don't know, Jameson, have you ever done it? It's kind of scary, but it's fun.
I have not. There are a few vices that I allow myself. Gambling is not one of them, but I can completely understand. Right now, as we join on board with, I believe this is Team German's base, and Mamba have full control right now. You can see exposed beds. They are in their core. They just need to clear this one out.
I am glad Mamba is raiding the Germans. I'm going to tell you why. The Germans have had all these. Oh, they were eliminated. Listen, you stayed at home. You stayed at home this whole event. You needed to. There was the TC right there. You needed to protect your base, but it's gone.
Yeah. They were playing a lot of third party, right? We were talking about how dense the bases were there on the south side. And so they were trying to play, you know, just play roof camper. They were trying to get the PvP kills from range and maybe slowly get involved. It definitely did not work out. Now, the base looked fine on that side, but as we go ahead, it was all curb appeal because inside, this is an absolute shambles.
So if we can actually get our wonderful Ian, our cameraman, just to look at the map for a quick second, I'm just going to show you something of interest. This after the TC Pavita's gone by ABS.
Oh man, all of these squads spent what the last 20 minutes here, I want to say, on this base. Finally, they're able to clean that one up, and that's a huge one because ABS, they needed that one. Mamba, Drops, Caustic, all these teams were catching up to them.
It is crazy. This event has been so much fun. I'm so glad everyone here watching with us. Now, if you look at the map, this is what I wanted to point out. We had this was all densely populated down here. We have 4 TCs left, which means 2 raids. There's going to be 2 raids happening. You know, geographically, you can almost tell who's going to do who, but they're going to have no choice but to turn on each other. And then at the top, we have, again, 4 teams, which means 2 raids. This is insane, Jamerson. I loved it.
Yeah, Kaylee, we started the day with about 21 teams, 20 teams. We are now down to 8 remaining, and that line of demarcation at launch site was there. That was where basically the map was split in half. 10 teams below that and 10 teams above. We're now down to 4 and 4 on either side. I'm loving the symmetry that's coming out for this because, yeah, for my OCD self, like just having 4 on 4 on either side is just perfect.
So theoretically, Mamba right here, you know, you got Mamba's team. I'm not sure why it's not showing us whose base this is. Right?
I believe they just finished that base off. Yeah, that's the Germans base that they were able to take out. So in a couple minutes, in another minute or so, that should be despawning, right?
Got you. So Caustic's in trouble here, if nonetheless, right? Like it looks like they're gonna have some pressure on that.
ABS and FXX, they have been roaming around this entire time. ABS just trying to get the final loot. I don't know if they're going to be able to find it in that maze. But yeah, the big question is, who's going to receive the next focus? Or will we have maybe 2 raids going on either side of the map? There's just so much here, but it looks like with 36 minutes left to go, these kind of just want to recompose themselves and figure out what their next game plan is.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Again, you know, these teams that we're talking about that they play a lot, they're PvPers at heart. So as much as your points come from these TC takes, they love finding each other, you know, just in the open field and taking each other on.
Yeah, FXX looks like they're trying to get whatever they can. You know, they weren't able to snipe away this TC from ABS. They're just making sure that whatever raid tools that they have left, they can just go ahead and maintain that, bring that one back. ABS, though, will have full control over this one. So Yep, this time around, it's a victory for ABS. FXX were able to steal one away from them earlier, but ABS remaining, to be tenacious in that. Even though things were looking a little bit bad for them, that it looked like maybe FXX had the upper hand at some point, ABS were able to take that one away. Now, as we take a look at the other bases, this is ABS's base, and we'll take a look at this wall structure coming out. It's looking like Beyblades here.
I love whoever did this. I'm in love. I don't know why. There's no symmetry here, but this looks so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that they were able to at least farm for all these walls, right, and be able to get this one down. It's actually kind of impressive how they're able to do this, and I wonder if this is going to be the new meta when it comes to getting a compound down. It's expensive, sure, but it might actually be very effective.
So ABS, they spend a lot of time in that raid, and right now that's why everyone's kind of still chilling. FXX doing the same thing they did the last time that the base was deleted. Everyone's kind of fighting over that loot. They need the rockets to go into this next raid.
Yeah, they had to expend a lot, right? Because it was honeycomb after honeycomb after honeycomb. It was triangles after triangles, right, on that hexagon base. And so you have to imagine that maybe the resources are getting depleted. With 30 minutes left to go, I don't know. Maybe have time to go farm just a little bit, hit some barrels, hit some sulfur, and get back into this. But now it looks like this is Sazranchi defending on their raid, and they were never really able to complete their compound. Look, they had to go armored on one side and compound it off.
Drops really coming in here, going hard. They're going to try to. It's interesting. The point spread versus the amount of TCs left. It's hard. It's going to be hard to catch ABS. Not impossible, but extremely hard.
Yeah, so it's gonna basically come down for a squad like Sazranchi, excuse me, or Drops, or excuse me, for Sazranchi in particular, because they are on the bottom of the leaderboard currently. They're either gonna have to wipe everyone out or win every single raid here. The raid defense might actually come in for them, but currently right now, Drops, they have great presence. They do see a lot of armored on one side, so wondering if they really want to maybe try and spend some time going for that splash, trying to take out the armored walls. But you can see Zaz, they tried to take some initiative, they tried to push out, and they are actually finding a little presence out here.
Okay, another prediction. I think we're going to see Mamba turn on ABS. That's my next prediction, by the way. It's the only chance they possibly have of winning. So we'll see if that happens. With Drops kind of pulling up and settling in to go after this base, we see Yeet in the side. They're kind of mulling around, maybe deciding whether they're going to come over. I really think Mamba's best interest is to go after ABS.
Wow, take a look at these rockets that came in from Drops, too. They took out a lot of the beds that were up here. And so things are looking a little bit dire for Zaz. They do have a few bags down, but they're going to slowly get on timer. They do have 4 bags up here, 5 actually, so not the full team up. So we'll see if Drops can continue to get these rockets down. They are starting to deal with these walls, but this is such a weird checkered pattern that makes it hard to try and read this base. Like, where do we really want to try and put the focus? You can see sheet metal here, armored there. This is such an odd way to approach.
Yes, they really, it's a race against time. We're 32 minutes left. Everyone needs to be doing something at this point. We have a few new chatters, in our Twitch chat right now. If you want to come sign up. I'm going to drop the Discord again. Come play this next week. Somebody's saying Alvin going off in this event. He always does, and he's usually here. So you can sign up and you can come and you can actually kill him in the village.
You can try, but he has been popping off for sure. Right now, though, looks like it's going to be slow pummel. Only one rocketer, it seems like, for the Drop squad. I don't know if they're just kind of running out of resources here or if they're just kind of really trying to establish themselves. Get that raid platform down, make sure everything's working. But it looks like for Bayraktar, excuse me, their target in front of them, it's going to be Yeet.
Yeet and Bayraktar. How come I feel like Yeet's had the best names against them all day? It's again, we're in a race against time. 30 minutes left. Not a lot of points to be had. They have multiple rocketers right now. 3 rocketers going crazy. Yeet, not really. They got one guy at the shooting floor. Where are you, Yeet?
Unfortunately for Yeet, right? Because the field has been whittled down so much, the chance of a counter raid is extremely low. Drops is dealing with Zaz on the other side, so they're not going to move over here for this one. They're just going to go ahead and take their win on Zaz if they can get it. They're going to allow this raid to go on. So iain, they need to do something about it. There's only one threat. You need to concentrate on Bayraktar, but like you said, there's no one. Where's the rest of the team? You have James, you've got Conan, and you got Nerm currently up, and I can't imagine they're on bag timer, but you can see how quickly that shell is going down on this base.
Yes, Jamesy, and you see him in the shooting floor. Oh, and he's no longer on the shooting floor. They took the shooting floor from him. That's one way to
man, because now you see him, now you don't. He is gone. Jamesy is back though. We'll see if he can get himself a kit, but their core is almost exposed. You can see they're gonna lose out on roof access shortly. If you get a nice rocket in there, get rid of the beds. Overdose is gonna try his best, but 5 HP in a dream, he's gone.
They are dreaming right now. They're dreaming that these guys will just bugger off so they can have their base. That's what iain said. Not really much of a fight you'd expect from iain. I think some of their players are actually missing, but I could be counting wrong. I want to say they're missing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like maybe they were dealing with like trying to push out on a raid somewhere else and they're refusing to go for the F1 kill to come back for the defense. Maybe they feel confident enough that, 4 players can hold this one down. Bayraktar are just pummeling. They haven't even actually breached the compound wall yet. There we go. Finally, now that they have a little bit more of the base exposed, they are just completely demolishing the compound walls. So this breach will be so safe for them once they get in.
Yeah, I did double check the Discord. They are 1 player down for sure missing. And again, when it gets to the end and you're looking at the scoreboard, they're at the bottom right now. It's a little, discouraging sometimes, but we're so glad that they're here, and we're so glad that we have them week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to, hold your head up high. Right now, you are currently top 8 in the lobby. We started the day off with 21 teams. You still have a chance. You still have to try and grit things out. There's 30 minutes remaining. A raid defense can work out for you. You can turn things around, so never give up hope. iain have not given up quite yet, but Bayraktar, you gotta be careful here. iain, Mario's in here.
Mario says, you want to touch my base, I'm just gonna go live in your base. I respect.
It's gonna be slow goings though, only having 1 rocker. He needs, I don't know, I'm hoping that he has like maybe 200 C4 or something. That's gonna be the quickest way to get through this right now. But if he's gonna try and rocket through all this sheet metal, oh, that is gonna be slow going. So we'll see if the rest of iain can slow them down long enough, because he's gonna need the rest of these 28 minutes to try and find this TC.
Hey, I respect the try, Mario.
Oh my god,
wow.
If he lost that. He was 1 bullet down, but no, throughout all that, iain end up going down. Bayraktar, I guess they get a raid defense here, and they will knock them out. We are now down to our top 7 squads.
This has been intense. We had a friend of ours, Drew Boo. He asked in the chat, he's like, I don't have 6 other friends to play with, so I can't sign up. That's not how this works. So every week, this plays on anywhere from three teams, like a team of 3, all the way up to, we've had as big as 12. So it's announced on Monday, so check. So the team size changes every week, and yes, it's a public event. Sign up with your friends and come play.
Where we have like 3 UI pulls and these shared chaos. Right now, it's chaos for drops as they are trying to defend. They do have control at least. This is the push onto the Zameranci squad right now, and looks like the counters are coming in. We have to remember that there were 4 teams up here, but 1 raid has finished for Bayraktar. They can now start to actually transition towards this raid.
Yes, Bayraktar, they have a lot of opportunities to be just a nuisance at this point, not because of the point spread. And let me go back here. I'm going to kind of go over the board here, but ABS still pulling away. Whatever they're doing, they're still pulling away with PvP points, because they're just about to be 500.
Yeah, stacks on stacks for them. 497 currently, and honestly, they could kind of press on their walls. Mamba need 2 raids, basically 2 TCs to try and catch up with ABS, and all that time, of course, you're also not taking into account ABS accruing points just from PvP themselves, and so they can continue to run that. 20 minutes remaining. I think they can turtle up, but with the kind of play that we're seeing out of ABS, I don't see them stopping on the aggression. I want to see them continue to raid. Right now, though, drops, it looks like they might have actually been cleared out of Zaz's base. Oh, yeah, someone was actually able to push out onto the raid platform of drops, and it looks like they were clearing out the beds. So big defense coming out from them.
Cute.
Yeah, so it's going to be, it looks like a defense, but it's only a matter of time. The action has slowed down finally, and that happens when it comes down to 7 squads remaining. You can see Zaz, they're trying to clear out this raid platform. The respawns are coming back on in, but they have controlled a little bit of this rooftop. You can see Drops trying to run things back. So it looks like this might not really be in the cards for Drops, and that creates a huge opening now for Bayraktar to come in.
Yeah, Bayraktar, they have the momentum right now. They just got a huge TC fairly quickly. So now they're going to turn and burn. The thing with this is it's more geography at this point. Right now the team that needs to be rated is ABS. That's the only way anyone else is going to win. Again, it really does slow the momentum down when you have these big huge spreads in the area.
ABS just hit the 500 points as well. That means Mamba are officially 2 TCs down up against ABS if they want an opportunity at that. So the only, like you said, the only chance, maybe, 2 birds, 1 stone, get a huge lead over Drops by taking out ABS, right? Get the 40 points for yourself and then put 40 more points between you and Team Drops right now. But for Team Drops, they're still trying to regroup for this one. And Bayraktar, they're taking the opportunity with Drops getting pushed back to try and steal away this raid. We have 7 teams remaining now.
So ABS is they're gaining points. So they're obviously down here. Let's look at them. They're PvPing somebody. I see a caustic team. I hear a lot of gunshots. I hear it.
Yeah, we got Mamba, ABS, Caustic, and I imagine FXX somewhere around here currently. Small platform that they're playing off of, and maybe they're just trying to regroup and find out where all their loot is, see how much boom they have left, to see if they have the opportunity to actually go for a raid. They might honestly be out of gas at this point, and with 2 people back at base, that kind of means they're going for the full regroup.
So I think everybody's just having fun PvPing, and as long as ABS keeps these guys in the field, keeps them on bag timer, they're not able to group up, they can't really make a push to a raid, they're in essence winning.
They are playing out of basically the station base out here as FXX are trying to push up. They do have Bara and Tyrael here who have come up pretty clutch for FXX at times, but now Caustic are actually coming in with the flank as well. So ABS are just sheer PvPing right now. There's another kill. White does end up going down, and he will go ahead and just F1 killed there, or Tyrael finishes him off. So we're down to the 1v1. Batman versus Tyrael. Batman goes for the peak. Tyrael ends up winning out on that one.
I mean, this is Rust, right? Like, these guys are doing what they love to do. You realize it's an event. You realize you play with these guys week in and week out. They know each other. So when it comes down, this whole AK spray in the field, that's their favorite.
Oh, here we go. The boom now going, and it's going to be the 2nd round for Team Drops. They are in their base. They are inside of that base right now. Bayraktar are starting to pummel. Looks like almost everyone has a launcher on their back. They're going in from the side as Drops expended a lot of into this, and they want to be able to get this TC, but Bayraktar, they might just have the momentum, they might just have the speed, just going in from the side like this.
Zaz Ranchy feeling, their bases are rocking. You know that feeling when your screen won't sit still? Poor Zaz Ranchy. They're in an earthquake right now.
Yeah, no, it's like, you get a message on Discord, hey, we're getting raided. We're getting raided right now. Get on. And as soon as you get into the server, just your screen is shaking here. Zaz, they might not actually have a roof anymore if they continue to pummel like this from the side.
Yes, and that's what's so much fun. Like, and anybody, again, this event is open to the public. You come sign up. You can have that exhilarating feeling of I love it. I don't know. It's the worst and the best feeling all at once getting raided, isn't it?
always want the online, and that's all this is. This is only online raids, and so you can have an opportunity to try it out for yourself. Like Kailey said, it's multiple formats. You have 3v3s, 5v5s. Today it's a 7v7, and that 7v7 I feel like has really accelerated the pace of a lot of these raids. Back in the 5v5s, if you lost a member, remember that's 20% of your team. Here in a 7v7, if you lose out on one, that's 16. I don't know the math actually. Ooh. Oh, Toxical! He's able to actually push out on the Bayraktar right now. We saw Sazranchi actually be able to do that against Drops. Now Papa actually might do them a little bit of a favor here. Papa, he's in here. He is in their walls, but he ends up getting taken out.
Yeah, I really think we've seen him spawn in a bag, pick up a gun, and make quick work of a few members, which is what you do. And that's another thing to note if you're playing. The points only count if you have a gun in your hand. So if you kill a naked, no points for you.
Now Bayraktar, they did their pummel, and it looks like they're ready to get in close. They are starting to breach. You can see a few members already inside the compound, a few still outside. They've got rockets to use, and they are trying to get rid of them. All the beds, almost all the sleeping bags are actually gone from the roof. There's only about 3 remaining here, so things are looking really bad for Zaz. They still do have a pretty chunky base, so a lot of work to be done here. There's still 20 minutes remaining. Oh, open door, Bayraktar in here, but he ends up losing out on that duel. He'll maintain control so far of the inner side of this base.
So one thing I will say about this Sazranchi team, as we've seen, nobody's able to really get in and get control. They can pummel it from the outside, but they've really said, you're not going to be in here and just get free reign.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, because I thought from the outside that this would be closer towards, like, you know, an advent calendar, maybe even like the tunnels. But it looks like TC actually will be in core, so it kind of led a lot of people to think, hey, maybe we just pummel from the outside. This is going to be such an arduous task to try and find TC in this base.
Yes, they've done a great job in building this base, but they really, the angles, the shooting angles they play off this base, Sazranchi really does know this base and knows all those little peaks in order to take these guys out and keep them at bay.
As long as they maintain roof control, but it looks like Rustoria might be coming out of the way. Donate is up here. He was able to ladder in. And, oh, Bayraktar, hey, actually gets into the inner core, into the inner shell. He ends up losing out. He gets better than you from the Drops. And so now Drops are inside. They are ready to try and get into the core here.
Drops, they know how to raid. They know what they're doing. So again, if you're going to get anybody inside your base, they're probably the last team you want to see in there when you open the door. But oh, so Rocky goes down in that corner trying to come up that ladder.
They're starting to go ahead and get through, and this is a little bit surprising actually, because one of the Drops members, you know, he's going through doors with rockets. So I'm wondering if they're running a little bit dry on C4. Maybe they're all just down to just rockets at this point. That is going to slow down the pace that they can try and raid at for Bayraktar. We saw them pummeling from the side. We did hear some C4 going off as well.
A lot going on in this base right now. Everybody fighting to find that TC. 17 minutes left to go. ABS still pulling away minute by minute. They're getting more and more PvP points. 520.
Yeah, they're 80 points basically. 82 points above Team Mamba. For Mamba, their only chance at this point is to take out ABS. I don't know if there's enough targets or even enough time for you to go 2 raids to try and catch up there. Drops and Bayraktar now still trying to deal with this Sazranchi base that is proving to be quite difficult, because as you push in, they can delay long enough for a member like Sober to push out and actually take out your raid platform. So the defense is coming out, but again, while all of that is going on, Drops are in there. It looks like the entire squad is here.
Yes, Drops plays extremely well tight quarters. As you can see, they're making quick work. Once they got in, they gained control. They've yet to lose it. Baraki's going to have a hard time trying to get inside this base and do...
Bayraktar are still stuck outside. It looks like they lost out on their raid platform here. And so while Drops, they lost a little bit of momentum a bit earlier on. They were able to get back on in. 16 minutes remaining here. Even though they might not be in the running for first quite yet, unless someone knocks out ABS, getting the TC here, that will put them above Team Mamba.
Definitely a race for second, 100%. Again, 16 minutes left. ABS, they could be eliminated. You never know. That can happen. It's a possibility. But as of right now, ABS, you know, you just keep seeing the pointer go up and up and up. They're still up there, probably fighting FXX out in the walls and just, you know, gaining points.
Yeah, we saw that, you know, they kind of changed up how they wanted to spend their resources, right? They had 2 people, I believe, on their roof, so they're ready for a raid at any point. They know that the only way that they lose, basically, at this point is if their TC gets taken. So they're leaving 2 people at home the last we saw, and 5 people are actually, you know, getting to have fun. The other 2 are just playing base mom at this point.
Caustic got bored. You see a couple members come down here and say, "Woo, what's going on?" They took looks like drops bled platforms. They took someone did anyway. I'm just guessing. Again, poor Zaranchi. They have so many people just wanting that TC.
Oh, that is huge, actually, for Costa to come in and counter that raid platform, because it looks like the members of Drop are actually cleared out. Zaz have taken back almost control of their base. There's one member of Drops in here. We do have a few member of Bayraktar still in here, but the way this base was set up, again, just bought enough time for Zazraki. Again, it came down to just their presence of mind, always knowing when to be able to push out, when to try and counter, when to try and deal with bed platforms, and they were able to do it multiple times.
Yeah, Zaranchi putting up a great fight. If I was there, I would be throwing doors on as fast as I could right now.
If you can find the doors, because again,
Right.
even though they're defending well, this base is still in considerable shambles, right? I'm wondering how much of the loot is up top, if they still have control. Drops are back here, they have the units back on up. Stalko has gone down, but here comes the defense once again. One drop down, as looks like drops are getting cleared out. One last member remaining, quite possibly. And again, beautiful defense coming out from Zazranchi.
What a play. He's going to want to come back and watch that. He's going to want to remember that moment, especially when he figure out who he just killed. Again, this Drops team, we see them week in, week out. These are some of the best Twitch streamers you will see on Rust. So, huge kill.
And it seems like they've done it. It seems like they've defended. Look, there's only one member of Bayraktar in, another naked running up as well. And at this point, it seems like maybe it's just over for this raid, but with only 14 minutes left to go, what other options do you have, right? You only have 14 minutes. You've already put in 90% of the work on this base. You might as well try and finish things out.
Definitely. They are still going. They're still coming back. They never give up. Good for them. Look at them go.
Yeah, I feel like if your base isn't getting raided, you should just be out there trying to be proactive, right? And no one's really going over towards the drop side yet. We saw that there's some sort of weird standstill where it's just sheer PvP on the south side of the map, so 4 teams are just involved there. It's just the final 3 fights right now. We did have, one of the cost members actually head on over here, just see what's going on in the neighborhood, and he does see a raid, but for right now, it's all about, can someone complete the raid? We do have C4 going out on the board.
Yes, and again, if you like watching us, if you like hanging out with us, make sure you drop a follow. We're going to be back here in an hour and a half. Whole new crew going to cast for you. Do it again. A lot of the same teams you're going to see again. You can come cheer for them. And again, every Sunday, 2 times a day on Sunday, we do this.
And this has been so much fun. It's been so much fun to watch. I love the pace of the 7v7 as well, but it has slowed down. In the last 30 minutes, we have not had the TC going down.
These guys are tired. This is intense. You are playing a whole, like, literally week of, even more than a week of Rust in a matter of 2 hours. So this is a lot of shooting, a lot of raiding, and that's what makes this event so much fun to come play.
They're not slowing down though. There we go. Running through the halls, trying to find an open door, trying to find a door. See what else do I need to blow in. The C4 not playing quite yet, but it's just a matter of time. And again, Zaz have done a stellar job of defending for as long as they have, but it's just been coming down to the sheer tenacity of the other squads, of Bayraktar, of Drops, continually coming in. There's only a few more doors remaining here. Oh?
And here we go! Jamerson, I think it's happening.
Yeah, it looks like FXX were trying to make some headway into this, but Caustic as well are involved here. And so one of the compound walls have been taken out. You can see there are already 3, 4 members of ABS here for the defense. And they understand, you know, what's the assignment? Hey, don't lose our TC. That's all it comes down to. So it's just only one person of FXX trying to find something here, trying to make a miracle happen, even though they are currently in 6th place. If they can knock out ABS, they'll do the rest of the lobby a favor.
ABS having these little, respawns attached to the outside, these external respawns. So, taking those out, taking those bed platforms is really going to help. But again, and just like that, sealed up like nothing ever happened.
And almost half of this base is now armored as well. So there's like no opportunity for you to try to come in with a pummel. You know, even if you had like a full inventory of launchers, I don't know if you'd be able to actually crack the space open. So ABS, they know that they are just taking a victory lap at this point. A 102-point lead for Mamba. There's basically almost not enough bases and not enough TCs for Mamba to try and catch up.
No, eliminating ABS is the only way they lose.
Yeah, Mamba have set themselves up a raid platform at the very least, but you can see how good ABS are. They have a one-man out here. It's going to be Iain for his squad. Just keeping presence, making sure that they're not able to establish themselves. With 10 minutes with a Hail Mary play, he's not going to allow it. They're just playing sheer defense now.
Yeah, Mamba, I mean, they have no choice. There's nothing else you can absolutely do. You have to try. And that armored, yes, it looks intimidating, but where else are you going to use your boom in this event? You got 10 minutes left. You have no choice. Just chuck it.
Yeah, and I feel like for ABS, whatever Officer had, right, on that FXX player's body, I think they're just chucking the boom, making sure that there's no more boom to use at this point. Because, yeah, resources are running tight. We've been raiding for 80 minutes now. FXX, ABS, all these squads, they've basically partaken in, 3 to 4 raids each? They have to be running dry on boom.
Oh, yes. And it really is in 7-mans. You don't know how quickly it goes. It just walks away so fast. You run out of resources. It happens.
And you know, they were contesting a lot as well. So it was just C4 flying from every player. But with 9 minutes remaining, ABS now pushing out, feeling confident in that chonker of an armored base there. They know that, hey, let's just go ahead and rack up the points. We'll see. 9 minutes, can they break 600?
They've been doing amazing. I can't wait to see the stats at the end of this. Their PvP stats are going to be through the roof. It really all these teams, Drops, Mamba, ABS, everyone that's left here. You've seen them work today. It's not been easy.
Mamba, though, slowly getting cleaned up. They are pushed up onto that raid platform. C4 is flying. They're going to bounty wipe their raid platform at this point, too, instead of just clearing out the beds. And ABS, sheer dominance. You know, things were looking a little bit close early on. We saw FXX slow them down, but at some point, the momentum just completely shifted in their favor.
Yeah, they're having a field day. These guys, regardless of the points at the end of the day, regardless of who wins, they love playing against each other. Oh, and there you go.
Oh, that's just F1 killed them. I'm wondering if maybe someone's making a push onto their base, and he's going to go ahead and check that one out to see if they are getting raided. There is some boom going on, possibly. No, this is Team Caustic currently.
We love seeing this. They all run up to each other. They say things in game. They poke fun at each other, and at the end of the day, it is just everybody's having fun, believe it or not.
Yeah, let's take the opportunity to take a look at the bases that haven't been raided so far. And this is a beast. What is that? A 7x7 shell. It is absolutely massive. They even, look at how they placed all of their boxes too. That's kind of nice. I like that. It's very pleasing.
Mamba, they have one of the best builders in this event. You can see that base is amazing. They're dancing on top of it. They're proud of that base, regardless at the end of the day.
I still love the Beyblade outer compound wall for ABS's base. It's very inventive. I like it a lot. I feel like there has to be some sort of use case for it too. But as we join back on board with one of the last raids of this event, Drops, Bayraktar, neither of them trying to give up, and they're going to continue to try and pummel in from the outside is Bayraktar, but Drops actually countering from this side. Papa ends up picking up a few.
Yes, and again, Drops, that team, if we go back to it, those are some of the best Twitch streamers that you can meet. They played this event last week. They're back here this week with fire in their belly. It's really interesting because they love Rust. These players love Rust, and you see them still trying to the very end because they just love this game.
Yeah, and from Drops and Mamba, we have to remember, this is still a race for a second. I don't think anyone could knock down ABS, who are well on their way to hitting 600 points, but there's only 2 points actually separating Drops and Mamba, and right now, with the frequency of the boom that we're hearing, I feel like everyone's just trying to find bags, trying to find bodies, trying to find the last little bit of boom to try and finish this raid off.
Everybody's been doing. They have to be tired. I'm tired. I haven't stopped talking for what, an hour and a half now. They have to be exhausted. The mental that goes into this and strategizing and just being so fast. You have to be so quick and look at these. Like, I can't wait to see these PvP numbers at the.
It's going to be absolutely absurd, and ABS are continuing to rock it up. 571, 572. They are only 28 points away, and there's the exposed TC. It's right there. They spotted it out. It's going to be Dropped that ends up picking it up. Now pulling well in the lead over Team Mamba. That's going to be 41 points now that they're above Team Mamba.
So I don't know geographically if they could do this, but I've played with Drops and I know them. If they could, they would pick up everything right now, turn and go after ABS. They would if they could. I don't know if they have a scrappy. I don't know if they're close enough, but theoretically, I know how they think, and that's what they would do.
5 minutes left. They would have to absolutely pummel if they could. Maybe get some MLRS in there, something to try and help them out, because we saw that ABS base. Half of the outer shell is armored. Half of the outer shell somewhere is armored. And I imagine it's probably towards the bases that are faced them. All right, now you can see though, ABS have full control over the land around them. They've just been fighting with FXX, and maybe there's an opportunity ABS try last 5 minutes to maybe try and push onto FXX, get a little bit of a moral victory up against them there.
Yeah, there's no quitting with that Drops team though, and they know the numbers and they know how to win. I don't think geographically they can do it. It's just not feasible. But again, if it was, I know exactly they would be on the roof of that ABS base if they could. FSX and these guys are having a PvPer's dream up here.
I think they're like C4 PvP. I've heard a lot of boom going on over there for ABS, but it could also just be ABS making sure that there's no boom left on the map. Take a look at all the bodies here. Absolute graveyard out in the middle of this clearing. Remember, this is one of the first bases to go down as well. There's so many. But with now 3 minutes remaining, ABS and continuing to just take their victory lap. 23 more kills. That's all they need. They could hit 600.
And again, they had over 102-point lead at one point. They've now dwindled that back to 76. So, I mean, these teams are still trying, and that's respectable. 3 minutes left. It looks like they're probably going to win. But again, Drops really trying to making that push and in making an effort to try to get.
Yeah, we were so excited when it came down to the final 8 squads, right? We have 4 below launch, 4 above launch side, and we were hoping some raids were going to happen, but I mean, you can't. The distances between these bases, you have the defensive setup coming out from everyone as well. ABS, I believe, had 2 members back at home just watching roof, just making sure that they didn't get raided themselves, and so it just became almost an impossible feature. We also, like you mentioned, Kaylee, the geography. This big hill has been separating a lot of these bases, so it becomes hard to try and counter a lot of these raids from distance.
I have the biggest smile on my face watching this right now, and it's not the point of Base Invaders. Right here, this part right here is not the point, but these guys and knowing this game, they're having so much fun right now. Like, they are just loving the fact that they can go out, because PvP, open air, like open field PvP is so hard in Rust these days. Gear fear and different, just the way the mechanics are. They are simply loving this, and then it just warms my heart to watch.
There's a reason why people want to play on like 2x and 5x servers, right? Because you get to kind of do away with the gear fear if like you hit a barrel and you have like 50 hike, well you could just make an AK, right? Like that's there's a reason why you have this. And also I'm so glad that we get to do this event as well because the teams, they don't have to play with like MP5. It's been all AKs. There were a few times I believe when in Trust and Rust I saw someone running around with like an MP5. I'm like, what happened? Like what happened
I
to you and your team that you're running around with an MP5?
I have some teammates where we have famous clips of them jackhammering kills in this event. So, I'm saying there's possibilities. Never give up. Never.
Maybe we should actually like throw in some bounties, right? Some quests. Like, yeah, get a jackhammer kill, get a C4 kill, get a like salvage cleaver kill.
This has been so exciting though. This 7 man's, again, like you said, we get the end, it gets a little slower, a lot less options, but this event today has been just full of fun.
Yeah, there's only 1 minute remaining, and it's just going to be ABS. It's a race to 600. We'll see if they can get 10 more here. And it looks like Drops have established themselves as our second place team for this event. Mambas, though, not to be completely outdone. They had a great day, great showing. They'll end up in third place with 464 points. What a great event so far.
ABS is going to remember this event. The way this is ending is unique. We don't see this very often. They've literally PvP'd their last 30 minutes of this event, and nothing more. It's very interesting. There was a lot of action so early on, and we've seen so much excitement that those TCs go down.
Yeah, like even though we had a lot of bases extremely close together as well, but the way that they ended up taking out a lot of the bases, a lot of distance in between them. And so it made it almost impossible for anyone to really try and make a push onto ABS, and that will do it. Not quite 600 points, but still, of course, very good effort coming out from ABS to almost get there. 593. That's going to be the final scoreline for ABS, who walk away the victors of the 7v7 base invaders.
Look at these kills. I've been waiting this whole event to look at
Wow.
these stats. 427 PvP points in kills. That is amazing. And if you look at the spread of the team, you have iain on top with 98, close with iWhiteX 87, and again Batman 72. Then you get a little more of a spread. But that is a lot of PvP points.
Yeah, well, canonically, Batman's not supposed to use guns. You can see exactly why when you pick one up, he ends up putting them down. 72 players. That's absolutely insane. Kind of crazy that, their lowest frag is 32, but that's still a really great effort. I feel like, it was just not for lack of aim, but just for lack of targets at that point for the last player there on ABS. And again, they ended up getting 3 raids. They also got a credit for a raid defense because of that one FXX push, I believe. I think it was just Officer by himself trying to C4 his way through with the miracle, with the hope.
So
Yeah.
again, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with our stats, but we can see that Drops was in second place with 507. They had a great show. They were playing this right till the end. They were rating. You've seen all the kills that they were accumulating, so they had a great show today.
Yeah, and like taking a look at our sixth place squad as well, FXX, that was the team that was probably the biggest threat to ABS when it came to a lot of their raids. ABS were able to get 3 raids completed, but imagine if 2 of those ended up getting flipped for FXX, right? That would have been an 80-point swing in either way. And if you got that, FXX would have put themselves in within a few 20, 30 points of ABS. So things could have gone a completely different way if XXX were maybe a little bit luckier on the raids, because it did come down to a lot of contested raids between both ABS and FXX.
Yeah. We also have Mamba who got third. They have 466 points. Again, very good show. We seen them all over the map. We seen them having a lot of fun getting in. Again, one could say they should have turned on ABS a lot sooner. It would have made a big deal. But again, I have an easy type. You and I here, we can look at everything and kind of get the big picture. It's harder when you're on the field playing. It is.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I'm wondering like how much of it might actually come down to being able to like scout and having familiarity with the teams, right? Like, I know that a lot of these teams can recognize which team is what by their base design. And so it might come down to just being able to scout out a little bit better in that regard, knowing like which team is which, just by taking a look at that outer shell and who they are. But with so much action going on, I feel like there was no opportunity really for FXX to be like, this is ABS's base. We need to go after them because they were so entrenched in a lot of these counter raids.
Oh, you're so right. Caustic, again, we've seen them really strong in the PvP phase. They seem to come out swinging. Kind of petered off though, going through the raid phase and kind of fell back. But again, good show with 388 points in number 4.
Yeah, and for Bay Rector, they made that last minute push. They were below FXX before they were able to finally snipe away that last TC, I believe, at the end there. So you can see why it was so important for them to try and keep up with everyone else in the lobby. And that south side of the map, that desert side of the map was really weird. There was a lot of action, or the north side of the map, excuse me, I believe. Yeah, that was the desert side. It was really weird because Heli ended up, I believe, two of the Helis ended up getting taken down there. There was a lot of early focus going on. You saw the kind of presence coming out from teams throughout the attack phase there to also go and start getting roof control on a lot of bases. It was interesting to see. We got to see early on there, Kaylee, like who the teams that were like looked most experienced, right? And it started off on like the first 5-10 minutes of the attack phase.
Yes, you're so right. And then rounding out the field, we have FXX with 345 points. Again, those guys, PvP demons today. You've seen them in and out of every base, just basically fighting the whole time. Not so much raid oriented, and you can see that in the numbers because obviously where their points are, but definitely there to PvP today.
Yeah, they got to PvP a lot. They did try to get involved in raids. They were basically contesting almost every ABS raid. It just came down to just a few TCs going ABS's way. FXX did put up some great numbers. Again, if it just came down to one or two TCs more, they could have easily found themselves in the top two, or at least allowed drops or Mamba a chance at overtaking ABS. But I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm so glad I was able to do this today because every team put on such a show.
Jamerson, this was an amazing, amazing base invaders for your first cast. You have done a spectacular job. It's been a pleasure casting with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. This was I worry whenever, it comes to casting a new game, but honestly, being able to cast this with you today was really nice ease into the world of Rust, and I had a lot of fun.
That's wonderful because Rust cannot always be easy. Let me tell you. We love it. We love it that you guys joined us here today. Make sure you follow us. We're gonna do this again in an hour and a half. We're gonna have the NA event. In the NA event, you're gonna have your casters. We're gonna have Sushi and Ped. They'll be here to entertain you. So come back in an hour and a half if you want to see the NA teams. A lot of these teams they play in the NA every Sunday. We do this. So this is a weekly Sunday event. You can come check us out. We have Ian who's on cams. He's our eye in the sky. He's done a great job today, and we thank him. And Jamerson, I can't wait to cast with you again.
Yeah, whenever you guys will have me, I will gladly be here. And Kaylee, thank you so much for being such a nice introduction into the world of casting Rust. I had an amazing time.
Oh, thank you so much, Jamerson. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us here today. If you have any questions, again, come join us in an hour and a half. They'll answer all your questions. Drop a follow, and we will see you soon. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.